Here's a quick video showing how to use a pop-up as part of your registration workflow. So I have the very beginnings of a landing page here. I have my navigation and a registration button. And so I'm going to show you how to trigger a popover, add the fields in needed to register a user, and then close the pop-up or the popover when the user is registered. So let's create a pop-up, and I'm going to change it to column and just neaten that up a bit, and let's add some padding. 30 is usually good. So that will be padding within the element. You can see it's drawing it in there. And then let's not bother with labels this time. We will just use the placeholder. So it's going to be email address. And then I'm changing the content type to email so that the field checks to see whether the content is indeed an email address rather than just straight text. Making the width 100%, just a good practice for if you ever need to make it responsive. And then we'll make this password. Change it to password. And last thing we need in here is a button. And we're going to add, we're going to give the button a label. And something we can do really nicely with both columns and rows in the new responsive engine is applying a uniformed gap. So by putting 30 in here, I then get a gap of 30. It looks a little bit too big. Let's go for 16. Yeah. And that ensures that I get a 16 pixel gap between each of these elements. So you could do that manually. You could put in, so if I take this back down to 0, disable it, I could go here, 16, here, 16. But it means that if I was to add elements in or kind of shuffle my design around a bit, it means I'm creating more work for myself in the future. So it's just nice, really nice feature to be able to put in a 16 pixel gap like that. And then we're going to have fit height to content, but the min height is what's creating all the space at the bottom. So I'm going to get rid of that. And let's work on the workflow. So register the user, we create an action, and the account is sign the user up, and we match up the fields for the email address, for the password field. In other videos, we'll talk about some of the boxes here and adding in fields such as adding in the name. You can take that right at registration. You don't have to create a step 2 to add additional data to your user. And it'd be easy to think that this is now where you finish. But if you run your app like this, your user will register, but they will still see that popover. So let's hide the popover. So we go element actions, hide, popover A, because if we open up the element tree, popover A, in fact we'll rename that register. So that will hide it once the workflow has concluded. The final step will be to hide the popover. So last thing to do will be to show the popover. So user clicks on register, and we'll go show popover register, and that's it. So let's preview. Okay, and we can check that works by just putting in a text field in here, current user email. So it will print the current user's email address. We can also check it another way. We can go current user is logged in. There you go. Prints the current user's email, and it prints a yes, stating that the current user is logged in.